All right, good morning. Thank you for coming. I'm Vincent Braze, Assistant AD for Strategic Communications, and I'd like to welcome you to the Wilcox Boardroom here in the SIBO Center on the campus of Bowling Green State University for the Brittany Emmons Introductory Press Conference. So just to order of business, we'll have opening remarks from Athletic Director Derek Vandermeer, followed by comments from Brittany Emmons, and then afterwards we'll open it up to the media for some Q&A. Following this press conference, we will move down to the second floor for a reception down in 202A and B. So at this time, I'd like to welcome the Director of Athletics at Bowling Green State University, Derek Vandermeer.
Thank you everyone for attending. I appreciate it. Just to get started here today, I would like to thank Dr. Rogers and the Bowling Green Board of Trustees for their commitment to BGSU athletics. Dr. Rogers has been a great advocate. I really enjoy having him be a part of the search processes. He meets with all the candidates that come to campus. His feedback and just engagement in the process is always much appreciated. I'd like to thank Stacy Koziak, our Deputy AD, Senior Women's Administrator, for being a critical part of the search process. Great advocate for the process and making sure we do things the right way, and so I really truly appreciate for all the work that you do. Also like to thank Max Hickey, Director of Administrative Operations, for all of his assistance in the process as well. During the course of this process, we interviewed around 40 candidates, well, talked to around 40 different people around the country, who we identified and pursued as potentially being prospects for this particular search. We were exhaustive in looking at every aspect of what would be the right fit for Bowling Green. And so that process, once again, we are very disciplined in how we approach it, because it's really important that the person that is going to lead this program reflects the values of the program, but also the mission of how we approach building successful programs. Also during this process, I had the opportunity to lean on former gymnastics coach Carrie Turner for advice and guidance. Really appreciate and thank Carrie for everything that you did and supporting us. And also had the chance to talk to a lot of other coaches that I personally know around the country, from John Court at Arizona to Christine McDonald at Central, and some other coaches who I've met during the course of my tenure who have provided great assistance to me and at least knowledge and history and background on the sport of gymnastics. On Monday, July 22nd, we announced Carrie as leaving her position as the head coach to become a full-time administrator within the BGSU Athletics Department. After a recent departure of a staff member in our Student Athlete Services Division, Carrie and I started having conversations actively about maybe her interest in pursuing an administrative opportunity. Carrie will be taking on advising duties, supporting multiple teams, and will be creating educational programming that supports the holistic development of student athletes. One of the things that I think when we start to look at our gymnastics program here at Bowling Green, it's one of our top academic achieving programs. It's also one of the top programs where our student athletes really are developing holistically. And her intense work in that program and her real value that she puts in that was a natural transition for her to move into a broader impact that she can have on all of our sport programs. I'd like to thank our Gymnastics Advisory Board for their care, interest, and ongoing commitment to developing our community and alumni outreach around the sport of gymnastics. Connie Nicholson, Alyssa Nocella, Kimberly Howell, Lee Meserve, and Matt Lyons. Thank you for all of your tireless work in supporting our gymnastics program. On Tuesday, July 23rd, Deputy AD Stacy Koziak and I met with the gymnastics team and asked them what they wanted to see in their next head coach. They wanted a coach who was going to push them to be great. When they walk into the gym, they want to be pushed every day. Someone who has high expectations, someone who makes us excited to want to improve, a strong communicator, someone who actively listens to the team, an individual who's committed to the student athlete experience, an individual who understands the rigor and demands of being a high achieving student and gymnast, someone who values mental health and cares about the person. I think gymnastics, I've always said, is one of the most rigorous and toughest sports to compete in college. The athletes that compete in the sport of gymnastics deserve a lot of credit. We have some of the gymnasts here today, so thank you for being here. So when you bring a leader to work with this particular type of program, this is a person that has to have very broad-based understanding of both the physical demands, the mental demands, and all of the performance demands that are associated with this sport, and that's really important. They wanted someone who understands and supports the overall physical health of student athletes and can effectively support with injury prevention, care, rehabilitation, and treatment. Really important components of building a great program. So today we take another step forward. Time and time again we talk about Forward Falcons, our mission, our purpose of fighting to victory, a fundamental purpose that is defined as a relentless commitment to improvement, innovation, and success in every aspect of how we build our programs. That commitment to improvement is that we look at every opportunity to take steps forward, to never be satisfied with where we're at. Innovation, being creative, especially in higher education today, we have to be innovative. We have to redesign the way that we think about sports and opportunities as we persist in making sure our teams compete at the top of the conference. And success, our constant demand that success is measured by teams that are competing for championships and opportunities for student athletes to compete at the highest possible level. Today I have the honor of introducing our next head gymnastics coach who will move this program forward. I first met Brittany on Thursday, August 1st during a preliminary Zoom call. We continue to talk to candidates around the country for the next couple of weeks after meeting with her, but immediately it was clear that Brittany had the focus, she was prepared, very detail-oriented, and passionate to be a coach and understands all aspects of managing and operating a successful program. As I started to explore her background, her athletics and coaching experience, a number of things really stood out. A former Mid-American Conference student athlete at Ball State University. Recently we hired our swim coach who was also a Ball State grad. So that was I told Brittany, I says, the one reason why I didn't consider you early is just strictly, but I do love Tanner, I think he's done a great job, but another Ball State grad. She was a team leader as well, a two-time captain at Ball State, a three-time all-conference performer, best overall senior gymnast in the MAC in 2013, an NCAA regional qualifier for all-around in 2010, 11, and 13, and vault and floor exercise in 2009. She'd go on to coach at Utah State, Southern Missouri State, and the College of William and Mary, serving as acting coach for SEMO in 2017-18, also serving as acting coach of William and Mary in 2020, earning ECAC Assistant Coach of the Year honors for that particular season. Coach Emmons currently also serves as the Women's Gymnastics Coaches Association as the treasurer as well. So many of her peers in the Coaches Association who I spoke with really talked about her attention to detail and her work ethic. And that was, had a text last night from somebody who said her work ethic is unquestionable, and I do trust this individual. So we're excited. I continue to receive really positive feedback. A week and a half ago, Brittany visited campus. We had the opportunity to learn more about her shared vision for the growth of our program. We discussed what excellence would look like. We discussed a shared passion for competing at the top of the conference. We don't have small visions here at Bowling Green. We have bold, we have big visions, and we demand that people that can help us chase and achieve those visions share that passionate resolve. We talked about a partnership. We talked about the importance of us working together to achieve that goal together. We want people who empower people, people that will challenge us, someone that will challenge me to be better and to help serve her as a head coach of our program. It was clear that her heart, her passion for the student athlete experience and for the process of how what we need to do to build that successful program, that she had the comprehensive vision for that. And what she also wants to compete for championships, and I think that that's really important for where we're taking this program. One last thing that I think is really important as we look at coaches. We want an individual that's committed to Bowling Green, our community, our campus, our university, our alumni. She understands that we need all of those people to be involved to build a championship culture and a winning culture here at Bowling Green. So it's time. Forward Falcons, I'd like to introduce the fourth gymnastics coach in the history of Bowling Green State University, your gymnastics coach, Coach Brittany Emmons.
Hello, everyone. How are we doing today? Good. Of course, my name is Brittany Emmons. I know it's been said a couple times, but I could not be more excited, more humbled, more invested and ready to go to be able to be this next coach for the Bowling Green State University Gymnastics program. And this is just like an awesome experience to be able to step in, and I want to thank everyone that's been a part of this process. Anyone that's been here at Bowling Green, to any mentors that I've been able to have growing up. And they've really shaped me and provided this passion for the sport that I've been a part of since I was 2.5 years old. So we know that gymnastics is a weird sport. I tell people that all the time, but my love started at a very young age for it all. You know, I had that 92, 96 Olympic team that really helped shape and mold me to who I am today. And I would say that this sport has taught me so much. The good, the bad, the ugly of what being an athlete is like, what being like a person is like, a human is like, and the qualities that it's been able to teach me has stepped me into this position of now being able to take over for this program. And as Derek mentioned, you know, I am a Ball State grad, so I hope no one holds that against me. But, you know, I am proud to have been part of this conference. And that's one thing that I mentioned on my interview, is that I understand the MAC and I understand this conference from the gymnastics side. And I have told many people over the last couple of years that the MAC has been one of the best mid-major conferences to be able to watch. The program quality from every school that's part of it, that gap is narrowing, and it's so competitive, and I cannot wait to be a part of continuing to push the MAC forward as a whole, as well as Bowling Green to be able to push forward within the gymnastics program. So I am super excited to be able to be a part of this. Again, a lot of what Derek mentioned about like the values and stuff, I'm so excited to have like this partnership with the community. I think that that's one big thing within college athletics, is there's a human aspect that comes into play between working with athletes, working with administration, working with the community, working with donors, that those are the people that are the heart and soul of college athletics. And that's what makes everyone move forward. You know, this is a very unique space in where college athletics provides an opportunity that, you know, 1% get to move on to that next level after they leave their college experience. But the rest of the 99% of people are learning a lot of lessons about what they want to do next in life. And that's the part that I learned a lot when I was in college, of how to just develop myself and become the human that I want to be. And that's why I have this passion of being able to step into this role of being able to be that leader and not only coach the athlete, but coach the person and be able to help them strive towards their goals, because each person is different when you look at them. Some people's goals are wanting to be able to go conquer the world and become this lawyer that's going to save everything. And some people, you know, are wanting to just travel and find value in life and what they're doing. And I think that that's an important piece of being able to make sure that you enhance each quality of each individual to move the team forward. That's when you're going to find the best abilities out of everyone. So like I said, I'm just very humbled and excited for this opportunity to be able to take this program that next step forward and really be able to invest in each of you guys, as well as hopefully invest in myself too, and teach me things and help me learn and grow to continue to be a better person, a better communicator, a better leader, of being able to take that next step forward, because we're always in a learning phase in our lives. No matter our age, no matter what we've done, there's always things that we can learn and grow from. And I'm just super excited to be able to have that opportunity to take myself and this university into that next learning phase to be able to move forward. So, yes. Thank you.
All right, we'll open it up to Q&A. We got members to the media. We got members of the Strategic Communications Office in the back with microphones. So please raise your hand, questions, and we will introduce yourself and your media outlet.
I've got a big mouth, I probably don't need this, but welcome, Coach. Welcome
Thank you.
to Bowling Green State University. My name is Clint Corp. I host the morning show radio here in town. Are we on? We're okay. All right. First question for Derek, if you would. Derek, you mentioned during the introduction that you thought gymnastics was probably one of the most rigorous and toughest sports. Explain that.
You know, having worked with gymnastics for a long time, there is the the components of, first, very physical sport, very demanding. Many of the athletes that compete in the sport of gymnastics, if you look at kind of their life cycle, are on the tail end of their life cycle. Many of them are reaching peak performance levels, in their late teens, early 20s, and then you're on the back end of a life cycle. So and they come sometimes with many more chronic types of injuries. So it demands a different type of attention to medical service support and how you treat and how you rehabilitate and how you care for them. And should be very, very thoughtful about that. And I think that that's something that there's another component of weight management, there's another component of, just physicality that is unmatched. It's not too many football players that are flying through the air 30 feet above the ground that are worrying about landing on their 2 feet. I've never seen that happen. But when you watch gymnasts, there's an artistic part of that is just absolutely amazing to watch, but you understand the discipline that goes into doing that and doing it well. I don't see that sort of precision sometimes, as complex that you see in that sport. It's amazing to watch, a great sport.
Again, just a follow-up for Coach, welcome once again to Bowling Green State University. A unique transition here. Carrie is here moving into administration. Explain a little bit more about the transition here and what attracted you to BGSU.
Yeah, so biggest thing is actually Carrie was coaching here when I was in school, so she watched me be able to compete throughout my 5 years at Ball State. So it's awesome to be able to have this connection and this relationship and know that she is still here as someone to be able to lean on, because not only has she played a pivotal role in this university and what the gymnastics program has done, but she's also someone that was, as Derek had mentioned, I'm the treasurer for the WCGA, so she was president of that and stepping in that role. So it's other things within the gymnastics community that we're such a tight-knit community and such a small community that having that piece to be able to bounce off of and have that support is something that was actually very attracting to this job of knowing what the MAC can do, what this school has done, what it was like when I was in school, and where it has come and gone and moved forward from in all those phases of life. So being able to have that relationship already is something where knowing what the school has to offer is what really attracted me to be able to come into this role and be able to follow in Carrie's footsteps of being able to move forward.
Coach, Kyle Edmond with BGSU. Just put us in the living room of a recruit. You're sitting across from a family. What do you say to sell them on BGSU and the gymnastics program here?
Yeah, I would say first and foremost, come to a conference that's going to be competitive. We're going to make sure that it continues to push forward, and we're going to make sure that it continues to push boundaries, because with only 85 total programs of gymnastics, we have to make sure we continue to stay relevant. And I believe that gymnastics is on a huge upswing across the board, that when you can sell something that you can be competitive and be out there on a national level, and even from a conference national level, that's that first piece. And then the second piece is what I've learned over these last couple of weeks is Bowling Green is a school that's continuing to grow within the state of Ohio, within the MAC conference, of just student population, that there's a willing and an investment to come here to be able to have that education piece of being the student first, as well as being the athlete, and then that investment piece just from the university and the athletics department to go into each program to make sure that they are successful is that piece to be able to sell these student athletes on, or these recruits on, I should say, of being able to understand their why, of why they want to go, A, first do college gymnastics, and B, why they want to come to Bowling Green. And I think that's a huge thing to be able to put out there, and then let them know who I am as a coach. That's that next piece, is that I have a passion for the sport. I've been around it for so long that I've seen what's worked, what hasn't worked, but every team is different. Every year is different. What worked one year might not work the next year. So you have to make sure that you adjust and acclimate to the needs each year, to every athlete, to what the program's needs are, and be able to just kind of lead that consistency piece. And Derek and I talked about that today, is consistency in the message and consistency of what I'm expecting out of the program. So making sure that there is going to be a mutual respect between coach and athlete and anyone in that administration role, but also realize that we're here to enjoy what we're doing too. Again, there is that why of why you started doing gymnastics in the first place. And gymnastics is tough. There is a lot of challenges that come with it too, but there's also challenges that come with going to college, learning how to navigate life by yourself without parents. So making sure that they know that they're in good hands, that I will make sure to take care of them, and the staff will take care of them, and this administration will take care of them, is that another piece to reassure those parents essentially too that are going to drop their kids off to be in all of our hands.
In the back.
Coach Mike Sheehan from BGSU, welcome.
Thank you.
Obviously, you know, the last few days, weeks, however long, have been a whirlwind for you.
Yes.
You know, some of the student athletes are here today. They're all going to be back soon, and the fall semester is about to start. I'm sure you've got a million things you want to do. What are some of your first steps now that you've got, this is your program, you're going to get started? What are some of the first things you look to do?
Yeah, absolutely. So a few of the first things is obviously get to know each of the athletes, get to know what their strengths and weaknesses are and what they're looking for. I know Derek mentioned some qualities from whenever, you know, they sat down with the athletes of what they're looking for in the next head coach, but also hear from them kind of what they need, what they want, what they feel like is on that individual basis, and what they feel like their goals are for the program, essentially as a team. And then from there, be able to build into what are those first obtainable goals that we can get. You know, with change always comes like those challenges, but we can't say that, you know, everything's got to be conquered right now at this time in this first year. But what do they feel confident in being able to say that they can be able to achieve in this first month, in this first semester, in this first season? And so those are kind of those two pieces of being able to come in and make sure that all of that aligns with every athlete that's on the team. Also, whenever a staff is in place, to make sure that our vision is the same to be able to move forward. So that way we can lead appropriately as a staff to help better the athletes as a team. So I would say those are like those first three things: is get to know each athlete, hire a staff that has that same vision, and work on those goals that are those achievable pieces to know that we can continue to check those boxes and cross those off and be able to set those new goals in the future.
All right, if we don't have any more questions, I will conclude today's press conference. We thank you for coming, and then we're going to transition down to the second floor to the Wilcox, sorry, my bad. The reception's in 202 A and B downstairs. Thank you for coming.
Yes, thank you. Thank you. Thank you.